Welcome to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. Today is Wednesday, December 9th, 2015, and my name is Adam, and I'm joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up? And as you can probably tell, I'm a little under the weather, so sorry for my voice. Hopefully Logan will take over a little
great.
bit.
He's going to make me talk a lot now.
Yep, exactly. That's what's going to happen. So, but man, we got a lot of news. We had the Games Awards show. We had PSX. So this is going to be chock full of video games. We got our predictions that I think we got all wrong.
Yeah.
And we got Detective. Oh wow, it's just the Gotham
Central, yeah.
Gotham Central, which might have been my best pick for you. But yeah, we'll get into all of that and more. But before we get into it though, man, how was your week been?
Good. Staying busy, keeping busy. We had with all the game stuff, it was kind of hard to keep up sometimes.
Yeah, man, I can hear that. We've had some shows kind of drop off, like Walking Dead and whatnot, and we've had some shows, a few lingering ones, and basically, as you can tell, I've been kind of sick, so I had some days off work where it's pros and cons of being sick. So cons, you're sick. If you feel like garbage, you go to the doctor, you get medicine, blah blah blah. Pros is you can kind of relax and play some PlayStation. And boy, did I, dude! I've been putting some time into some Final Fantasy.
There you go.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you're kind of like the RPG guy of the show, where you played all these JRPGs in the past. I've dabbled, but I've never really dove. And I'm diving right in.
Nice.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. You have a ton of platinums, a bunch of platinums.
This is true.
I want my first one to be Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a cool one.
I've looked over the list. I tell you what, good luck.
Yeah. I looked at that and 10, and I was like, oh my god, what am I doing?
Like the ones for 10 and even like 10 too, like because back when you come back, like the legendaries in 10 and 10-2, the names escape me, Ozma and some of the others, like the super boss, that's the word, the super bosses. They're tough, but they're not like you come to 7 and you look at the weapons, Emerald weapon, Ruby weapon, unless you know the tricks and you have everything down pat exactly the way it needs to be, it's not going to happen. It's basically like there is one road to take to beat these guys, and that's kind of it. Which, on the one hand is cool, and on the other hand, it is a colossal pain.
Yeah, I really have no idea what I'm getting myself into. I'm going to be watching a lot of YouTube videos. I saw one earlier. It was like a guide, like a guide still in process of them, the trophy hunters or something like that, where they are just diving in, trying to get them and to show you a step-by-step guide. I've seen the X and X2 ones.
Right, well, they've had that shot for a while. I mean, 7 with trophies just dropped, this is Wednesday, so yesterday. Yep,
yeah, exactly. I gotta say, I understand why everyone loves 7. Back on the original PlayStation, that game, I actually even owned it. I didn't get far in it, but I owned it. I understand everyone's love for it. Playing it in 2015, 10 just... I'm enjoying it a little bit more. I know that's blasphemy for a lot of people, but
they'll get over it. Looking at, if you're just coming to them now, I totally understand. The newer games are gonna pop in a different way. It just makes sense.
Yeah, it holds up. So yeah, I'm getting into them. I'm enjoying them. I'm taking a break. Even though we got some Destiny news, we'll get into in a little bit. I'm taking a break from that. Fallout, I got back into, and then I'm taking a break because I want to dive into these old school games.
Did you fall out of that game?
Yes, I guess you could say. No, I still love it. I'm going to be going way deep into Fallout. I've gotten some characters that I've been wanting to get, some super interesting characters like Valentine and a few others, and I'm enjoying it. But I want to take a step back. I want to enjoy some of the classics, and I want to dive into it. I have no idea why, but I want to play Final Fantasy. There was a game that, I don't mean to jump so far ahead. There was a game that came out, and I don't know if we've discussed it on the show, the Ni no Kuni.
Okay, yeah.
Did you see the footage at PSX?
Yeah, that was a series I never followed, but I know I saw the reaction and I was like, okay, cool, very cool.
Right, this guy that I follow, Kevin Moriarty, he's with the Kind of Funny people. He was, just pouring over how much love he had for the original, which was on the PlayStation 3. In fact, he said it was his favorite RPG on the PlayStation 3. And I went and looked at some videos, and I was just like, that game is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like the art style, that looks like something that I would love to play on an HD PS4.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully they'd come out with something like that. I did see that. Was it Level 5?
Yeah, I think somebody said something about a remaster, didn't they?
Right. I think they're the ones doing Ni no Kuni. I could be wrong. But Level 5 is the same people who did Persona.
Right.
They're kind of like they're doing the JRPGs that Square Enix is not. Square Enix is not.
Yeah, pretty much. What was the guy's name again?
Who?
The guy you were talking about, the one you follow?
Oh, Colin Moriarty.
Colin, okay, you said Kevin at first. I was like, wait a minute.
Did I say Kevin?
Yeah.
It's my voice. I'm sorry. No, Colin Moriarty.
Colin. Okay.
Yeah, dude's he knows his stuff. Like he's actually a historian. He has a degree in history. Yeah, he's an historian. So, I love his stuff. He's obsessed with politics. He doesn't get too much into it in video games and whatnot, but he loves his history. So he will dive into the history of these studios and the games and but you would love them, dude. You would absolutely love them. But
nice.
But yeah, so anyway, that's what I've been getting into this week is I've been just trying to dive into these JRPGs that I missed in the past that I don't know. I've enjoyed Western RPGs, but I never really got into JRPGs. So yeah.
I say you're in for a treat. I know that you look at 7 and it hasn't. Look, there's no denying these games have not aged well graphically.
Right.
There's you can't argue with that. And some of the dialogue is, it's kind of Capcom level corniness sometimes. I mean, you will have, everybody remembers from Resident Evil the Jill sandwich and whatnot, and you have comparable moments in some of the Final Fantasy games, so past and present. The laughing scene in 10 is probably one of the hardest cutscenes I've ever had to watch.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. From what I understand, 10 is one of the best to a lot of people. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, my stretch started with 7 and ended with 10. 7, 8, 9, and 10 are my favorites. They may not be the best. 4 and 6, a lot of people will argue are better Final Fantasy games, and they make a lot of good points. But that stretch of those 4 are my favorites. That and Tactics. I have a soft spot for Tactics.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of people do. I know that a few of the first, I think 1 through 6 are available on iOS. So
that's not surprising.
Right, yeah. So if you got an iOS device and want to dive into those, you can. So I know that 6 is being released on Steam. I believe next year.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, they had a whole bunch of leaked stuff, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Yeah, man. All right, well, let's get started. You want to take the first one here?
Sure. Sony's TriStar Pictures has announced they've acquired the rights to produce and distribute Trainspotting 2, which has everybody returning. I think they've confirmed, if not everybody, almost everybody. Danny Boyle's back to direct, and so on and so on, like the whole cast and everything.
All right. Yeah, no, Ewan McGregor, that picture is, what I kept hearing his name when he was up for Star Wars of why he was good. Never saw it, though.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep, never saw it. So I guess that's one I can put in the books to watch.
Put that one on the list.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's see here. And so we got Natalie. Did you see the trailer for Natalie Portman's Western Jane Got a Gun?
No, it finally got a trailer. They've been working on this for a while, haven't they?
Yeah, that's what I was reading. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks interesting. You pretty much, when I was watching the trailer, it was like, okay, they're showing a bunch of people die, like big actors. Why are they doing this in the trailer?
Because people forgot. I defer to J.J. Abrams on what's wrong with trailers now. Like
Yeah. Should we just dive in to the Batman vs Superman trailer?
I almost want to put a spoiler tag on this, but I mean, it's out there and everybody's seen it. So
I tell you what, let's save that for the end for reviews.
Yeah, because I mean, it really is. Like, I think.
Yeah, no, it really actually kind of pissed me off when I saw it, and I was just like, that made me not interested in watching it. I felt you just showed me the whole thing.
Pretty much.
And we'll get all into that later. But they didn't take the J.J. Abrams route. Granted, it's not like Snyder's doing the trailer, but what a bad decision that was to show you the whole. All of the surprises would have been fantastic in the film.
Yeah,
to see naturally happen. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. Speaking of trailers, we are going to get a Star Trek Beyond trailer before Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
There's a surprise. It's almost like they have the same director or something.
Exactly. How about that synergy? I think that's great. I think that's awesome. Everyone's going to go see Star Wars, and most of them are Star Trek fans anyway, and that's going to be a great trailer to see beforehand, I think.
Yeah, William Shatner's not.
Oh yeah. I bet he's not.
Oh, you haven't seen all the shade he's been throwing on Star Wars?
No.
Oh, he's gone out of his way to be like just when the trailer dropped for, I think it was the one they did at Monday Night Football, like he live tweeted like everything he hated about it. Like he got rough with it. He finished it with those who can do Star Trek, those who can't do Star Wars.
Yeah, what about Simon Pegg, though?
Yeah, well.
It's more like those who can't just run their mouth.
Yeah, that was kind of what John Boyega said. They asked him about it, and he said, well, here's what you should do. Sit down, have a nice cup of tea, and shut your mouth.
Right, exactly.
There you go, man. Like,
you're just showing your jealousy all over the place.
Yeah, I'm sorry they picked Leonard Nimoy to come back instead of you, but I think now we know why.
Right, yeah, he's the guy that wasn't invited to the party that's just going to be a negative Nancy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, sorry, dude. Probably should treat people a little bit differently. But yeah, so anyway, speaking of that kind of trailer, we have J.J. Abrams basically flat out denied that the film would have a post-credits teaser sequence, and I like that.
Yeah, they're not going to do a Marvel thing. It's going to be, look, no, this was the movie, and now it's over. That's it.
Oh yeah, exactly. It doesn't need any of that. So.
No.
I also saw. Let's see here. I thought it was in my notes. Oh yeah, okay. So Greg Grunberg.
Yeah, from Heroes. Yeah.
From Heroes, yeah. Does basically anything J.J. Abrams he's in.
Pretty much.
Like Lost, he was the pilot.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's the pilot in like the first episode or first or second. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break. I'll tell you the rest about that when we get back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And man, as I was saying, Greg Grunberg, I'm probably saying his name wrong.
Grunberg, I think.
Grunberg. He's basically in everything J.J. Abrams does in some little way. He's just the guy that's always in his films, ever since Alias and whatnot. Or I'm sorry, probably way before that. But he is in Star Wars. He is an X-Wing pilot. His name is Snap Wexley, and he's got his own action figure, too.
Oh, nice.
I thought that was kind of funny. So, but yeah, so we'll be seeing him in the film.
I like the sort of lost cliffhanger we did at the end of that last segment. That was nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Except we actually answered the question, so...
Yep. Oh, yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But yeah. All right, you take the next bit of news.
Yeah, we've heard this kind of kicked around a little bit, but it's looking more and more like Creed director Ryan Coogler is going to direct Black Panther.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's still haven't seen Creed, but you praised it. So.
You have got to go see it, man. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's I hear nothing but good things. So I will be seeing it shortly. Probably. I mean, I'm gonna go see The Wars next week. Probably sometime after that, I'm thinking. But yeah. All right. So did you see this? Benedict Cumberbatch will be playing a Nazi fighting illusionist in The War Machine.
Magician.
Did I say, what did I say?
Machine, yeah.
Machine.
You were still kind of rolling in that.
Yeah. Whoops. Yeah, dude, I'm so sick.
That's all right.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, did you see this?
I did not, but now I am intrigued.
Yeah. When I saw, speaking of magician, getting the word wrong, all I kept thinking about was, of course, he's going to be in Doctor Strange. What a jump.
Yeah.
That would be. But yeah, he's Nazi fighting illusionist. So I thought that'd be cool.
Interesting.
That alone sounds awesome to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see here. Batman vs. Superman, costume designer Michael Wilkinson says Flash will have brief cameo in DC film.
Sure, they've got everybody else in the entire DC universe showing up in this film. Why not?
Right, I thought they mentioned this before, but it might have been just hinted at, I guess.
It was probably a rumor, and it was one of those things that everybody just said, well, yeah, duh. But now we've got somebody attached to the film coming out and actually saying it, so it's...
Right, yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of that, I'm going to jump around a little bit here. At Comic-Con Experience in Brazil, a display of a Mattel movie merchandise includes a figure of Aquaman. Did you see it?
I didn't see this. No, tell me about it.
Oh yeah, basically it says giving us our first look at the costume since the original reveal. Aquaman reveals he retains his classic green trousers, but this just might be an error of the toy line. Went with untrusty when comes to solid. Oh wait, hold on, I'm reading it wrong. The character also appears in the comic book that have blonde hair, despite the reveal that he's going to have dark hair. So it's the toy line. The toy looks like blonde hair, green trunks, but it looks like his face.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, we saw in the poster he has black hair, so I don't know. Maybe they changed it after that.
It's entirely possible.
And to be fair, the picture is kind of far back. You don't see... He just doesn't look like Aquaman from comic books. He looks kind of like that picture that you saw of him with the trident.
Right.
So I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting. It was basically like we've only seen like the upper part of him. We didn't see if he was going to be wearing the, the green pants, but in the action figure, it's very clear it's green. But I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
Okay. I'll see what we see when we see it, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You want to take the Kill Bill?
Yeah, I thought this was interesting, and also, I kind of filed this one under Dove as well.
Right.
Tarantino was interviewed, and he said that Kill Bill is possible. He said, what was it he said? He said he said, I want to stop just short of calling it a probability. So he's kind of saying, hey, it was a thing, and it could be a thing. I don't know. But he's always kind of liked that particular part of the genre. Like, not just a martial arts film, but he always kind of really, really enjoyed that. And I think at one point he said he wanted to go back down that road again.
Right.
But, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Kill Bills. I love Quentin Tarantino films, so yeah, that'd be interesting. I saw some really boring news. I know you thought it was boring too. Hunger Games, Lionsgate reportedly exploring the idea of film prequels. Right.
Hey, big deal. I'm not a fan. This is not news for me. It's also really not news to me because this franchise has made just buildings full of money.
Right, and that's why I'm thinking maybe this is just not for us, but there are a lot of fans of it.
Oh, sure.
So, it only makes sense if, the studio wanted to make more pictures. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't until they stop making money.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that's, that would just, it just makes sense.
Right, but I don't know. Yeah, there you go. This next bit of news looked really cool.
Oh, you saw that trailer, did you?
Yes.
Yeah, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Sword of Destiny. Yeah, which is, God, can we shorten the title, please? I'm begging somebody, anybody. Can we just anything? I don't know. But it looked neat. It looked like more of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yep.
So, I mean, that was cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, it looked interesting. I definitely want to see it. I don't know. Did they say when it was?
February, I think.
Okay.
I may be wrong, but I think it was February. Unless I'm getting that confused with something else. No, I think that was it.
Oh yeah. All right. Cool. Well, let's see here. We got The Mummy. Yeah, you take this.
Yeah, Sofia Boutella from The Kingsman. They're thinking she's gonna star in the next Universal Monster reboot, and
okay.
That's a far cry from Tom Cruise.
Right.
Just in terms of like, hey, this was rumored, now this is rumored. It's like, whoa, okay, that's different.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. I didn't really, that was not happy news to me that they were like, and we're gonna get Tom Cruise. Like, really? We're gonna go? He's doing enough action franchises. Let's have somebody else get a piece of this,
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I mean it's gonna be interesting seeing these start pouring out. The Universal Monster films and how they connect to each other and whatnot. We've been hearing nothing but news for a while now, so it's gonna be interesting to see what comes of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, this Batman vs. Superman we'll save for when we talk about the trailer.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And I think that's it for movies.
Yeah, we burned through that pretty quick.
We did. Let's jump into TV, man. I'll let you take the first one because I know you got excited.
God, I was so excited about this. When I saw like Adult Swim was blowing up my Facebook feed. I was like, why are so many, like, I had, everybody posts like an Adult Swim thing now and then, but I was like, what is going on here? Why is this trending? And it's because they announced that in 2016 there will be a brand new season of Samurai Jack.
Yes.
Yes, please. Take all my money. I love this show. This to me was the last great Tartakovsky cartoon. I loved it. I cannot wait for this to come back. I'm a little bummed that, Oh, help me. I can't remember his name, and this is terrible. Was it Mako, I think? Yeah, I think that was his name, who voiced Aku in the original series. He also voiced Iroh in Avatar.
Okay.
He obviously, of course, will not be returning as he has passed.
Right.
But that's the only bummer. Is like, they kind of have to recast that. That sucks.
Right.
But I'm excited for this. I love this. I am all in.
Oh yeah, dude! I remember stumbling across this as a kid, and I remember no one else knew about it.
Really?
In my like no one I talked to, no one knew about it. It was only after a while that people started catching on. I felt like I stumbled across something that just no one knew.
Nice.
And it was so good. It was I think. There's only two people that voice acted in the whole thing, right? That's the only two characters I remember.
Well, I mean, they had like all the little side characters and everything too.
Right, but I'm trying to think of characters that he interacted with.
Oh, tons of them.
Maybe I'm just thinking of the wrong thing here.
Probably. Yeah, he was always like in a different village or city or something.
Yeah, but I don't remember much. I don't remember many other characters besides him.
Well, I mean, it was a rotating cast. Like, he was never in one place for more than, like, one episode.
Oh, okay.
So there were...
No, I mean, I remember that, but... Yeah, I don't know. I guess those were the only two main characters.
Yeah, but they brought in a couple later, especially the Scotsman. I love the Scotsman.
Okay.
Hey, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I guess I just haven't seen it in years. I just remember it being so tight, so different from anything else. Like, it wasn't just like... laugh. It wasn't like all the other Cartoon Network shows.
Right. It was on like the same period as like Ed, Edd and Eddy and a couple like that, but it was so different.
Like I remember maybe it's just because I just remember watching one of the episodes and there wasn't much dialogue at all. It was him just struggling.
They did do a lot of those, yeah.
Right. And it was just you were seeing him try to do something and failing and failing and finally succeeding. That's just kind of what I remember from it. I guess it's been years, but that's what I remember is just like, what did I just stumble upon? Like, this is just so different from anything else, and I enjoyed that a lot of it. I'm definitely going to be watching it when it comes back.
Totally.
Oh yeah. But yeah, man, that was cool. Let's see, what else news we got? What other Cartoon Network show would you bring back if you could?
Oh, man. Well, they're still working on a Powerpuff Girls reboot, so I hear. Right. You know what, man? I don't know. Dexter's Lab, maybe.
Dexter's Lab.
Well, I knew Eddie Deason, the guy who voiced Mandark. He used to come into the restaurant that my grandparents owned up in Maryland.
Oh wow!
And I got to I knew him when I was very little. His family were friends with my family and everything.
Oh, nice.
But it took me so long to put that together. And once I did, I was like, oh my God, wait, I remember him. Like that was crazy to finally hit that realization.
Right.
But that's
awesome.
Yeah. What Cartoon Network show would I bring back? I don't know, something like Dexter's Lab or Ed, Edd and Eddy or something. Maybe Cow and Chicken.
Right,
I love Cow and Chicken.
Yeah.
I can't think of any others like right off the top of my head.
Well, the only one I used to watch all the time, technically is back, and that's Dragon Ball Z.
Sure.
Yep. That was my go-to. I'd watch Dragon Ball Z, and like Samurai Jack, stuff like that. Yeah, dude. There's so, and I think they're taking a page out of Nickelodeon with the, let's just bring back the '90s stuff, the stuff that worked.
Yeah, and they're kind of testing the waters with it. Like, what are the, like, not just the most popular, but like, what are the ones with the most, like, when you announce Samurai Jack, the fan base is rabid. Like, they are a motivated bunch that are really going to get behind that.
And I think also Samurai Jack, it's like, what could make the most sense in 2015?
I'll tell
that
you,
one would be.
It's timeless in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Where a lot of those other shows, they're kind of a thing of their time.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, hey, we're going to take a break. We got a lot more to talk about. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got a lot of news to talk about. Let's see here. Luke Cage, the first set photos were released showing upcoming Marvel series. Did you see it?
Yeah, dude still looks like Luke Cage.
Right.
No, we saw him in Jessica Jones. It did show Rosario Dawson's character is returning, and it looks like she's going to kind of be the common thread among everything, and that's cool. That works. It's her introduction through Jessica Jones was handled well and everything. And I thought if you're gonna pick kind of like the Phil Coulson of the Netflix side of the universe, it's a good choice.
Yeah, it makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Yeah, I was at the hospital the other day, and I remember that someone said there, yeah, she's the night nurse, and I thought, oh. It immediately made me think of Marvel and her character, the night nurse.
Well, we're not sure that's who she actually is, though.
Oh, I thought that's who she was.
The similarities are there, and it looks like that's what they're setting up. But there's still, night nurse is someone that's always been kind of prominent with Doctor Strange.
Oh, so okay.
That's I think that's why everybody's kind of holding off on saying, oh yeah, that's definitely who it is, because we don't know. Now, if she pops up in Doctor Strange, we're going to go, oh, yeah, okay, that's right.
Right. Oh, that's cool. You take the next one here.
Yeah, on The Flash, which we will talk a lot about later. Lonsdale Martin said that said that Wally West is not Kid Flash just yet, which is good, because that wouldn't make a lot of sense, really.
Right.
So we'll build to that. They said he's into drag racing, and I thought, well, sure.
Yeah, he's got to go fast, huh?
Yep, that's it, man. And why not? That'll work.
Oh yeah. We got a new Game of Thrones trailer. Did you see it?
I did, and I thought this. On one hand, I was disappointed because it's literally a recap of the last 5 seasons and everybody who has died, basically. it's kind of like a fast-paced in memoriam, really.
Right, exactly.
And then it ends with Bran, so we know. I mean, we knew he was going to be in this season, but I keep thinking, like, God, this guy's got to be like 35 now, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like, but I mean, that'll be interesting. And I like the voiceover. The past is already written, the ink is already dry, or however it went. And I thought, what about when all that changes? Because I still think that's kind of the point of it. Is that it's actually a kind of a bait and switch. It's like, here is everything you know, and it's the whole thing of like the ink is dry is supposed to be like, and it's written in stone. Like that's the whole point of the past, and I think that we're going to be changing a lot of the past in a sense this season.
Here's what I took it as kind of a meta thing. Like, everything you've seen has been written, meaning it's been in a book. Everything moving forward has not.
Ooh, I like that. I didn't even think about that, but you're exactly right. That's nice. I like that.
I thought that was like a double meaning.
Yeah. That's suddenly a lot more clever.
And I think they say at the end, like, you're not going to expect what happened. Don't they say something like, you don't know what's going to happen next or something like that?
I don't know.
Maybe I have to rewatch it. I think they allude to something like, just wait until you see what's in store. Something like that. It's not that cheesy, but... And that's kind of what I like, dude. We are in unknown territory here.
Almost.
Well, okay. Well, basically, there's going to be I don't know. From what I understand, we're there.
Right. With every storyline except one. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So most of it is going to be you can't get online and get spoiled about most of it.
Right.
So before, you had to dodge every comment section, even if it didn't have Game of Thrones, because there's going to be that one jerk that's like, blah, blah, blah is dead, blah, blah, blah is dead, good day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But,
sorry.
Yeah, exactly. You take the next one here.
Italia Ricci from Chasing Life has been cast as Siobhan Smythe over on Supergirl. And she's gonna Siobhan Smythe in current New 52 becomes Silver Banshee. Now the interesting thing is, in the old DCU, in the old established canon, she was introduced as a villain for Superman. Very upfront, she had a conflict for Superman. She's chasing down some of her family's heirlooms. I think they were some books, because she comes from a very occult family. It's a whole mystical thing going on. Right. And so she's chasing down some of her family's stuff. I think they were books. I think they were grimoires. And comes into contact with Superman because she's been killing people, and Superman's not real crazy about that. Because remember, this is pre Zack Snyder. So we had, so they had a fight and everything, and it kind of progressed from there. But in the New 52, she's introduced, and she has a different name. It's something else. It's a much longer, very aristocratic sounding name. The name and the version Siobhan Smythe was introduced in Supergirl in the New 52, and is not immediately a villain.
Okay.
So that's I think interesting. It's going to be something to see where they take that character and how that develops.
Okay. Yeah, no, see, that's going to be the show next week, since we have a lot of shows that have ended or doing the mid-season, finales. Supergirl's the one I'm going to be catching up on. That and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, same here.
I didn't see last night's, Tuesdays. I did see the week before, so I can talk about that.
Okay.
But yeah, next week I'm going to talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because that should have already all aired. And I'll be talking about Supergirl because that's one that I'm like 3 or 4 episodes behind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I'm enjoying it. It's very much like the CW shows, which it's a shame it's not on the same network, because that would have been a cool crossover with all of them.
Well, it's still the same production company though, so we haven't exactly ruled it. They've been very coy about that to say we're not ruling it out, which I don't know. We'll see. See.
That would be one of the, if they could hold that card, if they could not show that hand until it's shown.
Yeah.
Like, I hope it's not one of these, wait until you see who comes next week, could it be a bird, or, like, I hope they don't even hint it. I hope you're just watching it and you're just like, oh my god, my mind just exploded because Supergirl just flew in.
Yeah, or I would love, like, if in the middle of an episode on Supergirl they're like, we've never dealt with this before. Why is this weakening my powers? It's not kryptonite. What is it? And they find out it's something magic. So who do they bring in? Surprise! It's John Constantine, because he's everywhere now.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Are you kidding me? The internet would implode.
Yep, and that's what they need to do. They need to do stuff like that. It's time they start playing together, really, because it only benefits. It goes, hey, guess what? Did you guys hear this person that was on that episode? Now we have to watch that.
The show, the episode that had Constantine in it, the Arrow episode that had Constantine in it, was the highest rated one in I don't know how long.
Exactly.
Like,
and
it spiked.
Exactly. And so if he just appeared on Supergirl one day,
yeah,
that would only boost Supergirl's numbers. That would make people go, oh, now I gotta watch that. And once they get them hooked, and then they get the people over there, and they go, hey, this is a lot like what I like, I'm gonna stick here.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden you got a whole bunch of new viewers. It only makes sense. It's all owned by Warner Brothers anyway, so. Anyway, we gotta get back on track here. You take the next one with Iron Fist.
Yeah, Scott Buck, who was a producer on Dexter and 6 Feet Under, and he's got a pedigree going back quite a ways.
Mm-hmm.
But he has been announced as the showrunner for Iron Fist over on Netflix, both at the same time giving us news on the series and confirming that it's still a thing, because there was talk for a while that they weren't going to do an Iron Fist series now.
Right.
There was a lot of scuttlebutt about that, but they talked to, who was it they talked to? Was it Joe Quesada? I think, outside of something not too long ago. And he kind of laughed. He said, oh, where did you hear that? The internet? And it was like, it's funny. Right.
Right. Oh, yeah. It only makes sense that they do Iron Fist. Netflix has enough money. If they wanted to add an extra show like The Punisher, they could do it. Well, they don't need to cancel one.
Yeah, I mean, they've already announced, to jump ahead a bit, they're going to double their amount of scripted series next year.
Exactly.
Like they have succeeded in turning into a network, so now they're going to seriously do it.
Yeah.
And good for them. There's still a lot that I haven't watched. There's still a lot that I want to watch. There's still a lot that I've half watched. It's like I'm like partway into season 2 of House of Cards. I've never watched Narcos. I haven't seen Marco Polo or Orange is the New Black. But I mean, that's the thing.
Dude.
It's like I know, but that's the thing. Like, there is so much content out there right now. There's only so many hours in a day.
Orange is the New Black is a must.
That's the first one on my list.
Yeah. Narcos is amazing. And Ansari has a show on there called Master of None.
I've heard good things. I don't like Aziz.
Yep. Oh, really?
So
He's hilarious.
I will get into it. I will give it a shot because I've heard good things, but that's a low priority for me.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm just saying, if you're a listener and you like his stuff, it's basically his stand-up on as like an episode, pretty much.
It's like what they did with the Cosby Show.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Without all of the
Well, who knows what he's doing behind the scenes? But yeah, it's really funny. Granted, I've only seen an episode, but it's pretty much his stand-up, and from what I understand, the rest of the show is like that.
Okay.
And Marco Polo, God, I can't wait. I hope they have a second season. But yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Let's. We saw that Rambo: New Blood. Rep for Stallone says actor will not be involved in upcoming Fox series in any capacity.
Will not be acting. Will not be producing. Nothing to do with it. He did say though that he did put out a statement saying he wishes them the best. It's not an animosity thing. He just doesn't really want any part of it.
Yeah. I don't blame him. It makes no sense to act in it. First of all, he needs to stay away from that. Even though I hear he's good in Rambo, not Rambo, Creed.
Creed, yes, he is.
Right. But it's not. I don't want to see him as Rambo in every episode. It's too much.
Right.
But yeah. Let's see here what we got. Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, this Abigail Breslin, it was announced, was cast in Jennifer Grey's role. So she's going to start. Yeah, they're doing a TV movie now. It's not like NBC, where they're live stage musicals. This is going to be taped.
Did you see that? Wasn't there a Wizard of Oz or something?
The Wiz, yeah, they did a remake of
Wiz.
The Wiz. I couldn't bring myself to watch it because I watched Peter Pan, and I thought they can't possibly get any worse, and I don't want to be wrong. I don't. And so when I saw everything for The Wiz, I tuned it out. I didn't. It was nothing against the cast. I mean, that's the thing. The cast in these is always great. Mm-hmm. I look at the cast and I think this is amazing, but then something goes horrifyingly wrong. And I did not want to go through that again. I didn't.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never even seen the original Wiz.
The original Wiz was okay. It was very of its time.
Right.
But I mean, that's just how it was. That's how the Wiz was, because I could not make that joke. I couldn't do it.
Right.
Yeah. But that's, no, the original is fine for what it was, and you thought, okay, they tried something, that was neat, that was interesting, but I can't, I just don't want to watch this new one. I don't. I don't want it to hurt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, before we go, we're going to take a little break and come right back. Real fast, you see Peter, how do you say his last name, Doctor Who guy? Capaldi, yeah. He didn't want a male. He didn't want a male to replace him because he's afraid he'd be doing all the action and whatnot. I thought that was kind of funny.
To replace Clara, yeah.
Right, to replace Clara. But okay, so we'll be right back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got a lot of video game news to talk about. So, man, where do we start? Do we want to save the video game awards, the game awards, to kind of like the PSX stuff?
Yeah, let's do those two at the end. We'll do the rest of the news first.
All right, yeah, definitely. Well, I guess take it away with the first one.
Okay, Harmonix a while back did a crowdfunded remake for Amplitude. And of course it got funded because Amplitude was awesome.
Refresh my memory. What was Amplitude?
Amplitude was kind of the precursor to Rock Band. Like it's sort of like it established some of the basics of the idea of a music video game.
Okay.
In a sense, it was it PS2? Yeah, I think it was PS2, and they did a couple, if I remember right.
Oh, okay.
But Harmonix said, hey, this was a cool franchise, and we'll get back into it. And they crowdfunded it, and they did it successfully. So the game for non-backers will release January 5th. For anybody who backed it at the $40 level and above, they will get emailed codes to download it on December 23rd. So they get kind of like an early Christmas present.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
That's it. Yeah, I thought that was neat.
Yeah. For sure. Let's see here. Capcom Company confirms new version of Resident Evil 2 will not be a remaster, but rather a full from the ground up remake. Announced release date of January 19th for Resident Evil 0 Remaster.
Yeah, the difference between the two there, they're just doing kind of like an upscaling of Resident Evil 0. And they announced like some new costumes and stuff. It was goofy, but whatever. But for Resident Evil 2, they're rebuilding it. They're doing it, like they said, from the ground up. So that's
they'd have to.
Oh yeah.
At this point, I mean, the other one, the first one was. Of course, originally PlayStation, but it was what they brought over was the GameCube version, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, they definitely need to do it from the ground up, which is cool. I mean, there's so many fans of 2.
Here.
Yep. I wonder if they'll take the Final Fantasy VII route and just completely change the mechanics of the game.
They'll change the controls for sure because they were, that was still when it was 4 directions basically.
Right. Oh yeah. For sure. All right. Well, we got Nintendo NX Company President. How do you pronounce that?
Tatsumi Kimishima.
Right. There we go. I knew the first name, the last name, no. Says upcoming console will be its own thing, not a Wii or Wii U extension.
that's the thing. Like, Wii U confused a lot of people. Like, they had to put out press releases and send emails saying this is not an extension of the Wii. It is a new console. Mm-hmm. So now they're saying, no, Nintendo Cross will be its own thing. And I think the fact that they're changing the name is going to help.
Oh, yeah. They are getting ahead of it. Because this was the problem with Wii U from the get-go. And everybody said it. Everyone knew it. It just seems like internally none of them did. But this is a must. You gotta completely separate itself from it. That's what they'll have to do. And I hope it's what everyone wants. This is the chance. We've talked about this a million times on the show. This is the time where Nintendo has to knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
They can't have another system that does worse than the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
They have to nail it. They have to have strong online. They have to have competitive third-party. They have to have third-party support.
Yeah, that's been the thing. That's always been the Achilles heel is third-party
Except for
support.
the Super Nintendo. They could not get enough. They couldn't, they were getting too much to where they were limiting how many games third parties could release a year.
Yeah.
And they need to go back to that. They need to they need to be competitive in third party. They need to have good graphics. It doesn't have to be the best, but it needs to be competitive. They need to have strong online. And they need when I say online, I mean like a store. So when you buy it on your 3DS, you get it on your NX. So and I'm talking about like the old school games. Like if you buy Super Mario Brothers, you do not need to buy it 5 or 6 times.
Right, crossplay. Yeah.
Crossplay, exactly. And they just need third-party support. They need so that when someone buys a Nintendo, they can go, I can play Call of Duty on this just fine. I have a regular controller. The graphics are the same, but I can also have this machine for my child. You know what I mean? I think there's a market there.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, and we're huge Nintendo fans. We love Nintendo. We want them to do good. I want a reason to buy a Nintendo, and right now I don't have one. I have reasons to sell them, unfortunately. Because the other consoles are just they provide so much more, and it's a shame because I would love to have the little Nintendo machine that I can play all my old school games on, and it seems like that's the only thing the Wii and Wii U actually offer is the virtual console. But anyway,
not much more than that, really. No.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Take the next one. I thought this one was pretty cool.
Yeah, we got the new guys for MKX. Mortal Kombat has its next DLC pack, and the trailer was kind of neat, actually.
Oh yeah.
But we have Leatherface, Boraicho. We have a character called Triborg. Because Cyborg is funny. And he's an amalgamation of Cyrax, Sector, and Robot Smoke. Okay, fine, cool, whatever. And then we have the Xenomorph from Alien. Because, of course, we have the Predator. But I like the way that they were like, hey, how do we make this interesting? Mm-hmm. So the chest burster comes out of Baraka. So he's part Tarkatan. And he's got the blades on his arms and everything. And I thought, okay, now I'm interested. Now I'm very interested.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was really cool how they did that, I love Mortal Kombat. I haven't played it in a while, but, I'm definitely gonna load it back up and download these when they come out. And, I can't wait it's gonna be interesting seeing Leatherface and Xenomorph.
Yeah.
In the same game. It's really weird, but it's cool. It's cool. They gotta do Freddy at some point.
Well, they did him for the last one.
Right, no, I mean in this game. I want to see Freddy, Jason, Mike, no, not Mike Myers, but Leatherface. Mike Myers isn't in it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, imagine Mike Myers too. It's cool. It's cool.
Boring.
You think it'd be boring?
I think it'd be horribly boring.
I don't. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah. Leatherface offers more chainsaw and stuff like that.
Yeah, Mike's got a knife.
He's got a knife.
And that was all he ever did, really. I mean, he had, like, he could have some interesting fatalities, I guess.
What was Mike Myers in? Oh, he was in Call of Duty. That's what I'm thinking of. Remember the Mike Myers level in Call of Duty? It was like a map. It was a multiplayer map.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, there was a Call of Duty. Look it up.
Okay.
We'll look it up on the break. There was a Call of Duty map where you went against Mike Myers. And I think, like, the more you killed, you got to become Mike Myers and kill people. And you could, like, showed up behind them.
Interesting.
And killed them with a knife, yeah.
Yeah, I was not aware of this.
Yeah, there's a whole Mike Myers thing. Yeah, I thought it was cool. But yeah, we got, do we have the list of the select PS2 titles now available on the PS4?
I don't have a list, but it's, like, all of the Grand Theft Autos for PS2. Dark Cloud was one of them, and Twisted Metal Black?
Right, Dark Cloud, Twisted Metal Black, Vice City, San Andreas,
right.
And Rogue Galaxy.
Okay.
War of the Monsters.
Okay.
Right. The Mark of Kiri.
Okay.
I think I said Rogue Galaxy. Yep, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to roll them out like the PS1. Well, like they did on PS3. Like they're just going to do like a couple every week.
Right. What's cool about these is they are remastered. So they're not remastered, I guess, but they're
upscaled.
They're upscaled, yes. And the big thing, which is a huge draw to a lot of people, is they'll come with trophies.
Yes.
Right. So this isn't, I think a lot of people got upset that you have to pay for them, but I think they're really confused, the people that are upset about that, because this isn't backwards compatibility where you can put in a disc and it plays it like an Xbox. This is just straight up, hey, you want to play these games on the PlayStation 4? Here you go. You can buy them. This is something that didn't exist yesterday, that exists today. I'm all for it.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why some people are upset. I get it, but get over it. Backwards compatibility was a fluke. Nothing before the PS2 had that.
Right, yeah. If you really think you're going to be able to put in a PlayStation 2 disc into the PS4 and expect it to work, you're crazy. It's not how it works. So this is great, I think, because if you're not a Parappa the Rapper 2 is coming, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, and so this is for people who were obsessed with those games that will rebuy them. It's just like I bought Star Wars on I don't know how many different formats.
Yeah.
And that's because I want the new format of it. I think it's exciting. I'm not going to get upset and go, wait a second, I bought this on VHS. How dare they try to sell me updated version of it? Oh gosh, get over it. Like
exactly.
This is, yeah, this is cool. It's just like the Final Fantasy VII that just dropped on PlayStation. It's the I don't know, HD whatever version of it.
Yeah, the PC port.
Yeah, it's the PC port. But it's, hey, do you not want to have to plug in your PlayStation 1 to play it?
Exactly.
Here you go. It's on your PlayStation 4, and it has trophies, so you can share them off with all your friends in a really cool, theme.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, man. Big time.
Right. Oh, yeah, so, I just had to say that for a second. I think it's ridiculous when I heard some people complaining.
And Fantavision. Fantavision's coming. I love that game. I have no right to enjoy it because it got ridiculously hard. Like the third level was insane, but I loved it. It was stupid, it was simple, it was a launch title, and I played the hell out of it.
Oh yeah, no, I've never played that. I didn't see it in the list, but that's cool.
Yeah, it's not out yet, but it's coming. It's like Parappa 2. Like it's not out yet, but it is coming.
Oh, cool. That's cool. Hey, I guess we kind of just talked about our next thing, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Wait a sec. Okay, yeah, so that's for the remake. I was just going to say, we kind of already talked about Final Fantasy VII already dropped on the system. Did you pick it up?
Yes. Yes.
Have you been playing any of it?
Yes.
Nice. They showed the Final Fantasy VII trailer, new trailer at PSX, and what they said is the remake is going to be a multi. I kind of want to save this for when we come back from break.
Yeah, we'll come back to this.
We'll come back to this. Okay. So you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and man, we got some more video game news to talk about. So we were just, before we went to the break, we were getting into the news about Final Fantasy VII being split up into episodic pieces.
Yeah, they, Square Enix put out a statement. It is going to be, like, they are going to do this in parts, but they did say it is a content thing. It's because there is, if you remember, like, Final Fantasy VII was 3 discs on PlayStation. It was huge, and it's kind of going back to the same thing. It's like this is a massive world. So if we remade it on the same scale for PS4 that we made it on PS1, we can't do this in one part. Like it would not be we would be having to cram too much into this to ship it out in one part. I mean, otherwise it's going to be massive. And so they've decided to say, look, we're going to tell you up front, this is going to take so much, it's going to be so huge, and it's going to take up so much. I mean, you saw the trailer at PSX. It looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely beautiful. And that by itself, with these massive worlds, well, this massive world and these places in it, where they've talked about so many more areas are going to be open and available, and there's going to be so much more to it, so much more added into it because of what we can do with things now, that it's just going to be absolutely huge. So they're going to break it up. But each piece, you're not going to feel shortchanged. Each piece is going to have enough content to say, yeah, that was a game. Like that by itself, each piece is like, oh no, I hope they're not going to charge full price for each piece.
Here's the thing. I want to play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
I think that's kind of a cop-out because they want to release it now. For example, Witcher 3, there's no way the game's going to be bigger than Witcher 3.
You'd be surprised.
I know Final Fantasy VII's big, but I think that's a cop-out because they want to release it soon. I mean, like, they're rushing everything. For example, did you know the director had no idea he was making the game until after he saw the trailer? Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like, Square Enix really, they are pushing this out there.
They need money.
Right. I mean, they made the trailer, didn't find anyone to make the game yet. It's not Square Enix that's even making it. It's I forget the studio. But yeah, the Tsushima or Tetsuya Nomura.
Yeah.
Right, didn't even realize he was directing the thing until afterwards, once he saw the trailer, like everyone else. That's the reason why it's going to be, like, the studio that's making it is known for the action RPG, not the, traditional whatnot, JRPG.
And so is Square anymore. I mean,
right.
It looks like exactly what we all kind of figured, was they're going to go more the action route. They're going to go more 13-ish with it. And look, I mean, that's part of it. Like, I was not married to the ATB system, right. So I have no problem with this. If you really want that badly, play the PC port.
Right, and again, this is coming from a guy who played a little bit of the 7. I wasn't in love with the series like everyone else was, but I get why people were. But I think them saying this is episodic because it's so big, I think that's a cop-out. I think they could have put it on one game on one disc because the PlayStation 4 can handle something like The Witcher, can handle something like Fallout. I think it is a smart way to do it, though. I do agree with you. It makes more sense to do it episodic, where it's like, here's a big part of the game, we're finished with it, we're done with it, here you go. But I think it's a little bit of a cop-out for them to just straight up say, it's so big we can't possibly do it as one. It's like, no, you want this to be out in the next few years. You don't want it to wait 4 to 5 years to give it to us, because now you got the hype train going.
I want them to wait a year and a half.
Yeah, well, that's what it's going to be for the first one.
Which is perfectly fine by me. Coincide with the 20th anniversary, spot on, drop it on the same day, go for it, all for it.
Well, yeah, no doubt. And that's why they're doing episodic. And it's, I just, I can see a lot of fans not liking it, but me, I'm going to enjoy it because I never was, you know, I wasn't in love with it, which I know a lot of people were back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to say the least, moving forward to see what comes from it. I'm excited when I saw that trailer. Now I'm not an idiot. Like I said, I've owned the game. I played it. I remember the trailer. I remember all of that. I remember the opening, and it was all just nostalgia.
Yeah.
The whole time. And I thought it was cool. But yeah, let's see what else we got here. Dirt Rally game now available on Steam, coming consoles April 5th.
Totally. And I love dirt games. I love Codemasters racing games. Dirt and Grid were fantastic. I played so much Grid 2. I almost platinumed that game. I came so close.
What happened?
I didn't have any friends.
Oh.
Nobody I knew was playing it. And some of the, like, one of the last, the last 2 or 3 trophies were online, and you almost had to set them up. So I was like, it's a bummer. But I was so close.
Nice. I mean, speaking of Steam, did you see that they had a leak?
No. There's a Steam leak? That's bad.
Yeah, there was a leak of a bunch of games. The only one really of importance is the Half-Life 3, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
And I mean, there's Half-Life 3 rumors every week, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And it's always the joke, like, when are they going to release it? I mean, pretty much everyone assumes that when Valve releases it, there's going to be no fanfare. It's just going to be out. They're just going to drop it.
I don't think so. I think there'll be an announcement.
No, I honestly think they'll just drop it because it's one of those franchises. Love them that game or not like that game. That has been one of the most rumored forever, the most anticipated forever for PC gamers. I think if they just put it on the store one day and there was just a thing on top of Steam, anyone that wanted to play that game will buy it.
Sure.
Or it's one of those like they're at E3 and they just say it and it's out right now.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I guess that's what I mean. Like, yeah, they'll be at E3 and be like, oh, by the way, Half-Life 3. It's out right now. Go buy it.
I think they'll pull a Bethesda and say, hey, look, coming at the end of this year, Half-Life 3.
I guess what I mean is they don't have to.
No. Oh, no, absolutely not.
Right. That's one that everyone would buy immediately if it came out. But yeah, no, I thought that was interesting because it's one of the legitimate, like, the name was there, along with a lot of other names that's supposed to be coming out in the next year.
Yeah.
Believe it when we see it.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the 7 remake. Like,
yep.
God, go watch Game Trailer's live reaction to that whole panel. Those guys, there were 4 of them there, and they lost it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when they announced Shenmue 3, one of the dudes started just legit crying.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. Like that's what I love about this medium. Like you can do something like that and it evokes such a reaction.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Was at I believe PSX. It was at PSX or it was at the award show where they showed the Final Fantasy reaction.
Yeah, at the Game Awards, I think. No, PSX. It was PSX. Yeah.
And they show that you hear the music, and then you show all these different reactions of people losing their minds, like, oh my god, it's coming.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. We got Minecraft game coming to the Wii U.
Yeah, next week. This was bizarre news.
I think it's probably going to be one of the best-selling third-party titles on the Nintendo.
Because it's something for kids. You could totally do that for kids.
Oh yeah, Minecraft would be perfect on the pad and everything else.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's gonna sell like gangbusters. It's
sure.
Minecraft is just a juggernaut that won't be stopped. We got System Shock 3. Other Side Entertainment confirms development of sequel. Did you play any of the other ones?
I didn't. No.
Yeah, me either.
I know they were kind of like everybody who played them was like, these are the greatest games ever, and they couldn't really get people to listen to them. And then BioShock came out, which was in a sense a bit of a spiritual successor to the first 2 System Shock games.
Right.
And then the popularity of that System Shock kind of rode up on its coattails It was like,
Right.
hey, remember us?
Yeah.
And so that happened. But
Oh, yeah.
okay, cool. Go for it.
Yeah. So that's cool. We're getting a new System Shock. This other bit of news, Linkle?
Yeah.
Linkle. Nintendo says female Link is being kept in mind for future Legend of Zelda games.
I think she's being kept in mind for the next Legend of Zelda game. I'm still not convinced that that's not a female version of Link.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, no, definitely. It definitely looked like it could be female.
yeah, and I mean, why not? Go for it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I'm up for a change of pace with that. Sure.
Oh yeah. Now before we get into the next bit of news, because PSX is probably going to take up its own thing, and so is the Game Awards. What was I going to? Let's see here. Oh yeah, nope, not that news. Nope. All right, I mean, I guess we can start with the Game Awards. We're just going to probably take a break real soon. Did you watch it?
I did.
Yes.
I was glad I did.
You were what?
I was glad I did.
Oh yeah.
They were a proper award show this year.
Yeah, I think it's because it was online.
Well, it was because they got people out of the way. Like, they stopped trying to make it some kind of production or something. Like, I sent you the thing with the VGX greatest hits kind of thing.
Yes.
That sums it up. That was how much, we have to get it on Spike. Well, they're going to demand this. And so Jeff finally said, no, you know what? Screw that. We're going to do this ourselves.
Well, there was a lot of things that you could get away with doing it online, and this is what I actually was going to talk about a few minutes ago, was just how they honored Iwata's.
Yes.
They did that whole, they just honored him for, a good 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have gotten away with that on live television. And I just thought that was touching when Reggie came out and talked about him, and, his speech actually it sounded like, it just sounded like Nintendo. Nintendo, everything I wanted to hear from them, the way they were honoring him and the way they were saying, Nintendo knows what they're doing, and that was kind of, I think, his message was to honor, of course, but he was also during it saying, we know what we're doing. This whole time we know what we're doing. We were ahead of the game with a lot of things. And if you look back, all the things Nintendo's given to the gaming industry, from controllers to gameplay to everything, you can't come close to any other studio, giving that much to, on top of that, of course, a game developer doing that. So it was just really touching. I thought it was super nice, and there was a lot of surprises that you would have not have done on a regular game show. There was a lot of sponsoring and stuff like that, but that comes with it. That's what pays the checks.
Exactly.
Or that's what pays the bills. So, but we'll get into all of that in just a moment. We're going to take a break. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And yeah, man, let's get into it. Let's start talking about the Game Awards first before we get into PSX.
Okay.
Tell me what you thought about it. We talked a little bit about, honoring and whatnot. What was your favorite part of it?
I've got to go with when Jeff threw shade at Konami.
Yeah, that was
so surprising.
Yeah, that was a moment that you couldn't do on live television. And if you could pick a studio that you could throw shade at and not have any consequences because they're not in the video game business anymore, that's a studio you could do it at. Well deserved. And
it was well done too, the way he did it. It was just very and Kojima wanted to be here tonight, but he was informed by a lawyer from Konami that he would not be allowed to show up tonight. I was like, oh damn.
Man,
we're just going to drag this out into the light. Okay, let's do it.
And his thing, I think, is up this month. It just wasn't up yet.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to hear a tell-all soon. I hope and pray.
We've called it for a while now. This is the documentary we want to see.
Yes, the falling out and what happened. And, it just, oh my God, it just looks so bad for Konami. Like you, like we get it. You don't, you know, it was just so. And Keith, help me out here. Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how uncomfortable must he have been the whole show? And when Jade Raymond,
yeah,
what she said about him,
yeah.
Making fun of
that was another great little bit of shade thrown. I love that. What because she was doing she was presenting for best performance. It's like what game Metal Gear Solid would not be the franchise it is without Snake's voice, without David Hayter. And you could see Kiefer was, and you could tell this was not. It was like, this is in good fun, and I'm sure he's heard all the jokes, but
she goes, "Oh man, that was mean. I should have said that." I thought that was great. I thought that was hysterical.
But that's the thing. This is that was the kind of room where he knew what he was getting into, and I'm sure he'd heard everything before. But I can imagine working with Kojima Productions, if that's the kind of place where if you show up to do what you're there to do, and you put the kind of heart into it that you would be, that you would be expected to, then you get the respect back,
Right.
So I'm sure there's been no end of flack because I would love for it to have been David Hayter, but from everything that I've heard, he does a perfectly acceptable job.
Yeah.
So that's good. But man, that was, whew.
I think my favorite moment was Greg Miller's speech.
Oh man, yes.
Yeah, and I shared that with a few of my friends who work in the industry, and how important that was for them to hear. Greg, I've talked about Colin before earlier in the show. Greg Miller is his biffle. They're pretty much married. They legitimately live together.
Yeah.
They're roommates. They live together. They sleep together. No, I'm just kidding. They've shared their home for years. They've worked together. They live together. They've talked about legitimately probably living together the rest of their lives.
Probably.
With their wives. So it's this thing where it's a really cool, with them, you get real, you get the real deal. You don't get this fake. It's all, and everything they say, it makes sense. And so when he got up there on stage, it was like finally other people are listening and hearing him, about, and everything he said, just, it was great. Just I liked, how it was kind of funny. It was an inside joke, and their thing was Colin was so mad that he was named third.
I loved it.
Being thanked, and there's a shirt out there where it has the list of who he's thanking, and Colin's name is crossed out because he's like, I don't even want to be on the list if I'm number 3 behind Kevin and Nick or whatnot. So anyway, and it has Nicole, I believe her name was, for, when he just named the random developer, the person working on,
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
No, but I'm trying to think of, what her job was. It was the, environmental, it was she did environmental stuff in it, developed and whatnot in the game. So I just thought that was so cool. He just picked a random person and gave her a shout out. Just because, thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for making what you make. Because we've all sat through credits where it's just a bunch of names and they never get the accommodation that they should.
Yeah, and that was, that was his point. Was the whole thing of it takes so many people. We all know the developers and we know the people. We know the Tetsuya Nomura's. We know Hironobu Sakaguchi. We know these names. We know the directors or oh my god, and I'm blanking on a name and that's terrible. But the composers,
right.
We do, a lot of them stick with us. I cannot for the life of me remember the Final Fantasy composer, and that's sad because
right.
I really like him. But how many other dozens, if not hundreds of people work on this and put in as much hard work? And go completely unnoticed. It's the same thing with film.
And her, by the way, her name is Nicole Tan, and she was the environment artist for Crystal Dynamics. So
there you go.
It was just a cool moment for him to give that thanks, so yeah, I don't know, I just thought that was really cool. And the thing is, they joke about his ego because he was the Up at Noon guy, so he was kind of the talent, and so he's the face in their group that always gets recognized, and he's in a lot of other things. You get to see that he's actually in Lego Marvel Avengers.
Oh, who's he voicing?
He's one of the voice actors. The character he's playing is the bad guy in Iron Man 2.
In 2?
Yeah, and 2, the
Russian?
I don't know. We'll come back to that. I forget the name.
No, are you sure it's 2? No, because he's Aldrich Killian, right?
Hold on. I'll get it in just a moment. He is voice acting in Tall Tale Games. No, they don't have the name here.
Oh god, that figures.
It has everything else but the name. Hold on just a moment.
Because I thought I saw something about that a couple days ago, and he was the guy from Iron Man 3, I thought.
Was it Iron Man 3? Is it
Killian, Aldrich Killian.
That's it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting Iron Man.
Yeah, that's 3.
Yes, so he's doing his voice, and so he says kind of funny in one of his lines, just little nods and whatnot. I think that's cool. He's got a really good week going for him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so he's definitely someone to follow. We've mentioned him and Colin a bunch in the show, so go listen to them. But yeah, that was my favorite moment from it. There wasn't really any big game premieres or there was some trailers and stuff like that, but nothing really excited me.
Yeah, there was something. There was something. We'll come back to it. We'll circle around to it. And Nobuo Uematsu was the composer, whose name I could not remember for the life of me.
Okay. Oh, and I loved when I don't know who was singing it. She came all the way from Japan, they said.
Yes.
And she did Quiet's theme.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was really fantastic. Was it Jacqueline something? God, I am so off the ball with names tonight. I am sorry.
Yep. It's okay. And see, that's the thing that's unfortunate. These are names we should know, but they're not promoted as much. We get Kojima. That's it.
Right.
We don't. There's a whole team behind him that work, effortlessly that we don't give the thanks to. We don't know their name. They're not household names. And I mean, Kojima, he's a household name to video game, enthusiast. But outside of that, I'd be surprised if most people knew him. So it's
right.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that it's nice to see him get recognition.
Yeah. Stephanie Jutson.
There you go.
Is her name. Boy, I was way off.
And Final Fantasy's got some great music, man.
Yeah, it does. I was bummed that they're not bringing Uematsu back for the 7 remake. But
right.
they're just I know they can't do it note for note, but they need there are a handful of core themes that have to be in it full stop,
Right.
But and I mean he's done music. God, he has done so much music for not just Final Fantasy, but for a lot of Square games.
Oh yeah. There was what was there Star Citizen?
Star Citizen had a trailer.
Right. Rocket League for Xbox.
Yeah, that was a cool announcement. I'm all for that.
Yep. I'm trying to think what other bit of news did we get from them. Let's see here. Wasn't there a Walking Dead Telltale game?
Right. Telltale. There were 2 Telltale games announced actually, because there was a Walking Dead, a Michonne-centric game. It's going to be 3 episodes.
Right.
And they also teased they're working on a Batman game. And I thought
yeah, I'm all down for. And it looked like a classic Batman or Dark Knight Returns. I don't know. It just looked like, it has the Dark Knight Returns Batman symbol.
Right.
And it was just talking about gangs and stuff like that. And if it's a Dark Knight Returns style game, like Frank Miller-esque, dude,
be
it's
interesting.
Gonna be good. Yeah, they had a debut trailer for Psychonauts 2.
Yes. They
showed Far Cry Primal.
That was, and man, I'll tell you what, I can't wait.
Yeah.
That was, whew.
It looks so different, and that's what I love about it. It's not going to be the same Far Cry game where I don't know, it's just not going to be Far Cry, and I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. let's see here. What else did they do? Didn't they have like some DLC for Rise of the Tomb Raider?
Did they?
I think so.
They
showed off some DLC. Also, Shaq Fu.
Yes. Yes.
Sequel to the game.
A remake.
Oh, it's a remake?
It's kind of like, well, this is the game we wanted to make kind of thing. Yeah, Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn was the full title.
There we go.
And I love that they then had him do an award. They had him present an award, and everybody that came up, was like 3 feet shorter than he was.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of sales too. There was a lot of things on sale for on Xbox. I picked up Ori and the Blind Forest for $10.
Nice.
Yep. And I think Ori and the Blind Forest for $10. What did I get on PlayStation for $10? Oh, I got Strange Life.
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange. Sorry.
Yeah.
See, I am really sick, people.
You're
so I'm going to be mixing up things. I'm going to be saying machine instead of magician. This is going to be one of those shows.
That's all right.
But yeah, man. Life is Strange. $10. Got to get that. I played the first episode, and I think there was like 4 or so in it. And it was really good.
Nice.
So
nice.
I'm trying to think what else. What else did they have there?
I know there was something, and I can't. I'm racking my brain, but I cannot remember.
Mm-hmm.
It was a trailer for something or an announcement of something, and it is just escaping me, and I didn't put it down in the notes. At least I don't think I did. No, I did not put it down in the notes. It's a bummer.
Didn't they have hold on, I'm bringing it up right now. It's not Resident Evil. It is they showed Overwatch.
Yeah, okay. That wasn't it, but okay.
Dying Light.
Yeah, Dying Light's getting new DLC. Like they're almost pulling a Taken King with Dying Light.
Right.
Where they're, it's like, here's this DLC pack and like upgrades to the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I thought that was an interesting sort of announcement to have.
Oh yeah. Well, we are short on time. We will be right back, though. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. When we get back, we'll talk about PSX. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And, we got a lot of video game news still to talk about.
Yeah.
You talk about what you liked from Game Awards real fast.
Oh, the one thing I couldn't think of, the Westwood Studios kind of tribute they did. They presented the Industry Icon Award to the co-founders, and did a whole thing. I had forgotten that Westwood kind of came first with RTS, in the sense of like, this is what they kind of started that, and that pushed Blizzard to do StarCraft and Warcraft, and it inspired so much. Like I think most of us have a favorite Command and Conquer game. For me, it was Red Alert 2 and the Yuri's Revenge expansion. Like those were just so wicked slick. Like they were awesome. But I mean that you couldn't get away from different Command and Conquer games for the better part of a decade. Mm-hmm. Everything from the original through all the expansions. You had Covert Ops, and then you had Red Alert, and you had Aftermath, and then you had the Tiberium side of everything, for better or worse. But yeah, you had all of that, and I didn't realize the impact, like I said, that it had on so many other studios. But it was a really great piece, and I enjoy it, and I want them to come back to making Red Alert games the way they used to be. Like I don't like what they've done with everything that came like after Generals. Like that was the last one for me that I enjoyed.
Right. Westwood's kind of dead. EA killed off their studio.
Yeah, I know.
The only studio, and like you said, Blizzard really. They took that ball and they ran with it, and gave them good competition.
Yeah.
And I remember growing up playing both. Unfortunately, Blizzard's the only one that still makes. RTS. They have StarCraft and rumor of Warcraft 4, coming out, but really MOBAs have kind of taken over that side of PC gaming, and it kind of sucks because the RTSs were where it's at. Like, I was looking at a list of the games they made. I had no idea they made Lion King.
Yeah.
I remember they made Monopoly because I remember playing that at my aunt's house all the time. I'd do the Monopoly on the computer. It'd have the animations, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. I remember playing it around the time like Harry Potter came out. And it was an old game. Even at that time. Yeah, dude, they made a lot of games. Holy cow.
They did. They really did.
Yeah, I was seeing it. EA bought them for $122 million in cash. At the time, Westwood had 5 to 6% of the PC gaming market. Man, yeah, that's crazy.
If they had that much of the market now, they'd sell for 5 times that much, easy.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, well, business is business.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, I thought that was cool too. Anything else from Game Awards before we move on?
Not from the game. Not that I can think of, anyway.
Okay. Well, let's get into PSX. Before we get into the news of it all, what did you think of it?
I was disappointed. I was looking for something to pop, and really nothing did.
Right. I don't think they had any big first-party games out there.
No.
To show. That kind of sucks. That's the place you do that at.
I mean, they did all of that at E3, and then that was it. Like, this was like the B show to their E3, because their E3 will go down in legend. Their Sony's
well, not the last one. You mean the last one?
Yeah.
How? Okay, go on.
This was where we got the 7 remake and Shenmue and The Last Guardian.
Right, yeah. And Last Guardian's first party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, Final Fantasy, that's coming out on all.
Right, but I mean, they broke it at their show. Like,
right,
I mean, I know
true.
what you're saying in terms of exclusives and everything. I understand. They didn't have, they had Uncharted, but, we all, we knew that was coming.
Right.
But like, yeah, for exclusives, their E3 was not that much better on that front. But I think in terms of a conference in general, like nothing, their E3 was it. That was the bar that now every future press conference in the video game industry has to hit.
I think the better one was when they came out and announced the PlayStation 4 price and release date and everything, where they came out and dropped the mic on Microsoft. I like that one better, just because it was like, this is our message, these are our games, here's the price, go out and buy it. And they said everything we wanted to hear, and Microsoft said everything we didn't want to hear.
And I think that's why that one is kind of higher like that.
I think that was the turning point, because pretty much before that, as a PlayStation fan, it was like Microsoft knocked it out of the park and everyone, and it was like Sony keeps dropping the ball. Where that one, I think that was the turning of the tide.
Agreed.
That was the one where it was like, oh crap, they're saying everything I want to hear. And then you're absolutely right. Now that I think about it, last year, yeah, with of course Final Fantasy and Shenmue, and they were just like, hey, here's all your dream games.
Exactly.
They probably won't be out for a while.
Yeah, but I think that was the one where they said, last year we listened and we gave you the price point you wanted and whatnot, and we're partnering with Activision to say, hey, you know what? Now we're going to be the big dog. By the way, this is counter to everything that Microsoft's doing with the Xbox One, and I think that was kind of the cherry on top.
Right.
But this year, when they came out and they said, hey, they opened with The Last Guardian, and then 35 minutes later, they drop Final Fantasy VII Remake. And then they do a quick section on indie stuff, which leads into Shenmue 3. That was where they came out and they said, look, we hear gamers. Mm-hmm. We hear what you want, and we're going to work to give you exactly what it is that you're looking for. And, mic drop number 2. Mm-hmm. That, to me, I think, in terms of being, dreams come true, there's no, that's the bar. That's the high watermark. And this at PSX, I know they weren't expecting the same, but at least I know for me, I was expecting something, and
Right, and that's the thing. That's what I feel really disappointed about, is that this should have been the show where they came out and were like, here's the games we know you're interested in. Now, we got Final Fantasy Remake. We even got a gameplay trailer, which I didn't think we were going to get.
Yeah, and that was cool. That was very cool.
That was awesome. And then they said, by the way, Final Fantasy VII Remastered, whatever, port is out right now. Go buy it. And it's on sale. And I bought that immediately. And that was cool. That was really cool. But there wasn't much after that.
No, I mean, everything else was kind of underwhelming, at least to me. Now, I know there are some people out there, like, I know the Yakuza stuff was big. I know that's got kind of another little, like, cult fan base that just lapped all that up. Okay, great, go for it, rock on. But there was not a lot. There was the 7 gameplay trailer. There was there? Yeah, how much else was there? There was the Sparrow Racing League, and there was one thing that was new that I didn't know anything about that caught me off guard, and I can't wait. And that is Ace Combat 7. I have been a massive fan of that franchise, and I hated the last one they did because it was free to play, and it did not work with this, with that. You can't do that series as a free to play limited model. Oh, you can't do this many missions today. You're out of whatever, but you can buy more of whatever to do more. No, get out of here with that franchise.
All right.
Get rid of that. But they're doing a full-throated sequel. Ace Combat 7 is coming, and I was excited about. That was awesome to me.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I don't know. There wasn't much I liked that about the Ni no Kuni 2 thing. I thought that looked so cool, and that was a game that I've just never heard of.
Yeah.
And when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, that looks cool. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm in my JRPG phase right now, or I'm trying to play the Final Fantasy games. But I was like, that looks cool. That looks so weird in Japanese.
Yeah.
And I like that. And that's when I went back and I looked at Ni no Kuni, the first one. And I just thought, that's such a cool idea. It's this little kid, he's doing his own thing in his own world, and this little guy, he gets he's in another world, and that little drippy nose guy or whatever is, showing him around, and I don't know. I just thought that looks really fun, and it looks beautiful. Like, it looks like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, from head to toe cartoon, and I just thought, that's different. That, I guess, for me was the... I'm trying to think of a highlight, and that's the only one that I walked away thinking, I'm going to buy that.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy that day one. Anything else, I wasn't excited about. Even Destiny stuff, I'm sorry, I'm not excited about Sparrow Races.
Dude, I'm having so much fun with it. I've been doing that like the last couple hours before we started doing this show.
Oh, yeah. It's something we've always talked about that was going to happen.
Yeah.
We knew that they needed to introduce that. I mean, I guess if that's your thing, it's just... I'm not into racing games, I guess. Maybe that's just why. It looks like Pod Racer.
It's a mix between... I had this fantastic analogy. It's a mix between... I'm doing it again. I'm forgetting the thing. It's the kind of space racer game that's always been a PlayStation thing, not Viewpoint, but nuts. That one's legitimately gonna bother me because it was one Wipeout. Thank you. Wipeout. It's a mix between Wipeout and Wave Racer in the way it controls. It really is.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I'm having a blast with it. And that's just because I'm winning, I guess. But I am just having a ton of fun with this game.
Now, is every Sparrow equal?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I know some of them are faster than others in the game.
Right. I think they've leveled it. I think because I do not know.
Yeah, that would be kind of unfair if you're like, oh, I got this drop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat everybody.
Yeah, I think they have kind of leveled it out. It's like regular Crucible. Like there aren't advantages.
Right.
But they're, I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. I love the courses. And I love you do get drops. You do get like special edition racing gear. That's kind of neat.
What?
Yeah, you get armor and the helmets, and you get like I saw one guy got a legendary helmet, and it's very like it's just like a solid white helmet with like a whatever color the legendary has, like a purple like big like oval spot in the front. Like,
so where do you equip this helmet?
It's on you.
So, but no, I mean, like, it's not the helmet you wear.
Yeah, I think
around
so.
the world.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is giving you new gear.
Yeah.
And is the gear like light level 310?
No.
So
it's
cosmetic.
More or less. Yeah,
okay.
like it was. I think the helmet was 250. I got armor, and it doesn't have a light level to it.
So they give you armor, so you put it on before you race.
Yeah, it's totally cosmetic.
So this is okay. So, and this is what I was reading today. I forget who at Bungie, but they came out and they flat out said, we're not doing any DLC for Taken King, and we're just going to be introducing things like this, like the Halloween thing and the Sparrow races. But actually, let's take a break real fast. We'll get back. We'll talk a little bit more about PSX, and then we'll get into some comic news and reviews. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. All right, and we are back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and I'm pretty sure we talked as much as we can about PSX. Real fast before we get in reviews, your predictions. Did you get any of them right?
No. No.
I give you a little bit for Destiny.
Yeah, I called there would be timed exclusive content unveiled, but it wasn't timed exclusive, so I'll take a half point.
Right. Now, did it come out on the Xbox?
I think so, yeah.
It did, okay. And yeah, I didn't get anything right to either. I thought Destiny 2, No Man's Sky, launched with VR. Kojima, totally wrong.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 12 HD, nope. God of War, nope. Sony Bend, nope. All of them wrong. Watch all of those be for E3.
Yeah, right? Totally.
I'm pretty sure all of our stuff is going to be saved for E3. And we'll do a whole show about that when that comes up. I think that'd be cool just to do its own show for E3.
We have to. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We still need to do a Jessica Jones.
Oh, yeah, we do, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yeah. It's been a while. So maybe we'll save that for a whole segment next week, or you might see a surprise Jessica Jones this weekend. But we'll get to that. We'll talk about that. But let's get into reviews, man. I guess first, actually, a little bit of comic news. We got Civil War II, Brian Michael Bendis to write, and Dave Marquette, how do you say his last name?
Marquez,
doing art for the upcoming story arc due out in April 6, 2016.
Yeah, they're doing Invincible Iron Man right now, I think, aren't they?
Yes, they're knocking it out of the park.
Excellent. So yeah, they're going to be doing Civil War II, which will conveniently be released to tie in with the Captain America Civil War movie. Who knew?
Bingo. And you take the next one.
This is interesting. Margaret Atwood is writing, and Johnny Christmas is doing the art for a Dark Horse graphic novel called Angel Catbird.
Okay.
It's going to be a trilogy. It's going to be 3 graphic novels that they're going to do. And the best way, like, I was trying to figure out, like, this guy's like part cat, part bird, part, like, part he's got angel's wings. Like, I don't know what this is going to be. So Dark Horse editor Daniel Chabon described it in the most fantastic way possible. He said it's a strange mix of Will Eisner's The Spirit, Grant Morrison and Chas Trugg's Animal Man, and Ryan North and Erica Henderson's Squirrel Girl.
That is weird.
That sounds like something I just have to read.
Yeah, absolutely.
and written by Margaret Atwood. I mean, that's huge.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I was looking at the artwork there, and it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's it. Let's get into some reviews. We got short time to talk about them. Your pick of the week this week was Gotham Central.
Yes. What did you think?
I really enjoyed it. Like these characters, I love the idea that we're in the DC universe, but you would not know it unless, I don't know. Of course, there's Mr. Freeze. He's in kind of like the first act. There's Two-Face towards the end. there's Batman intertwined, but I really loved the characters.
Yeah.
The way they interacted, the way they were just like, not the Batman. We do not need his help, and it's important that we don't get his help.
Right.
And what happens to a lot of the police officers, and you see like real consequences to the villain's actions, where before, like, you're in the DC universe, you're reading the comic, you're reading Justice League, and all hell breaks loose, people are dying, but you don't care, you're paying attention to Aquaman and Batman and all these. This is like, it shows like the after effects. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to better to explain it. It shows the men on the ground and the real consequences that some of these supervillains leave. Where before I don't know, when I was reading like Justice League and Batman, it seemed like if people got killed or whatever, it was done in one page and you moved on.
Right. You forget that these sort of like bit characters, they're almost extras. This was a series that flipped the script, that said, no, wait a minute. These characters have their own backstory. They have families. They have friends. These are not just, nameless throwaway red shirts.
I'm so glad you said red shirt. I was waiting for you to stop because I was going to mention red shirts. This is following the red shirts after one of their own crewmen die.
Exactly.
And it's like you sit with them and you hear what they're thinking of in their head, and you understand their motives, and you understand why they're pissed off, why they don't want the Batman to solve it, why this needs to be solved by them, and what it means to not turn on that bat light and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just thought it was super, super cool. This is I think one of my favorites that you picked.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's one that I'm going to continue, because this was book one. I think there's like 3 or 4 more.
I think there's 4. I think there's 4 total.
Okay.
I think.
And this would have made a great TV show. Now, I like Gotham, but this would have been a great TV show.
And this was kind of the basis. Like, this was the original idea. Like, this was the kernel where they were like, what do we do? We can't do a Batman TV show. And this was, like, thrown down as like, well, what about this kind of story? And that's, like, this was sort of where the groundwork was. And then, they did what they did from there. And they've kind of gone back to that a little bit with season 2. Just in terms of, like, we're staying away from we're keeping away from the Bruce Wayne story a lot, and we're focusing more on, especially like the cops that they, mild spoiler, the ones that they grab right out of the academy.
Right.
And then, you find out, hey, this is Gotham after all.
Right.
And so there's a little more of that to it. And I want them to get back more to something like this, because I think that would make a much better, I use the joke at GCPD Blue. Like, that was the show that I wanted. And that's what this comic book essentially was. That's what this series was.
Oh yeah. It's very real. And, it's unfortunate when I watch Gotham now and they said someone's name. Oh, she got a line. She got 2 lines. Oh, you're seeing a little bit more of her character. They're going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I felt every time, and I don't want that. I want them to stand on their own 2 feet and, show that you don't have to be in a bat suit to take on bad guys. And I don't know. I really like the comic, man. I don't know what else to say about it. It's definitely something I want to pick up and read more of.
Excellent.
Yeah, dude. So if you're listening and you haven't read it, go out there and read it. It's called Gotham Central. Before we get into, should I pick mine before we get into?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
Okay. Since Star Wars is coming out next week, I thought it would be fun to. Now we're getting episode 7, which is going to take place 30 years after. It's going to be official canon. I want us to take a look into what the canon was before this. Not canon, but what the extended universe was. And it's called Heir to the Empire. It came out in like 1995, but you can still get it on Comixology, Amazon, all these other places. And it's basically verbatim from what the book was. Okay. But it's in comic form, so you get pictures in 6 issues. So it's kind of I wanted a cool kind of retelling. Now here's the thing: we've been doing comics that we've read, and we want other people to read. This is a book that I got into and read. Now I've never read the comic, So I'm interested in seeing what the comic is like. From what I understand, it's verbatim for the book. So I think it's gonna be cool. Next week we get together and we talk about it, and you'll get some extra. Okay, this is what it was going to be. But we only got a few minutes left. We'll move on. What did you think of The Flash?
Oh my god, I love this episode. Just, come on, man. Mark Hamill. Do I need to say anything else?
Yes, he steals the show every time. And I don't care that he's the Joker.
Yeah, pretty much.
Every scene he takes it and he runs with it. Now, I need to give him some credit. He does do his own little twist. And I guess that's what his character is in The Flash, but man, I love it. Yeah. I absolutely love it. He's the toy maker, right?
Trickster.
Why am I thinking toy maker? The Trickster. See, I don't know that much about it.
Well, because he used a lot of toys in this episode. Like, that was kind of the focus, because it was Christmas.
Oh yeah, I loved all the Christmas stuff. I hate the whole Harrison Wells thing, like where he's back to being a bad guy. Let him do some good.
Well, but I mean, this is more conflicted. Like, this is saying, and I love, it's family. That's kind of been the theme of this season with Iris and that dynamic over there.
Right.
With this Earth 2 Harrison Wells, it's about family. What do you do for your family?
I hope that he redeems himself in a way, because I love the actor so much in the show.
Oh, he's so good.
He's so good. This is the only possible way and the only show you could do this in where you literally have the same actor, almost the same character, but he can be there and be good this time.
Yeah.
I hope there's a turn. I hope there's a turn, and he's like, you know what? I need to save this world. And he does whatever to save the day. We got to see, spoiler alert, because we're gonna be a bunch of it, Wally West.
Yes. Well, not so much a spoiler, because like they were like, hey, here's Wally West. Not here's his alter ego, because he doesn't have one yet, but just here's Wally West. I was like, okay, cool. More toys in the sandbox.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, so we finally get to see him, and he shows up, and it's a big emotional thing, and I loved it.
Yeah. Again, family. I mean, the season started with him and his dad.
You know what? We didn't even get into it. We should. What did you think of Arrow last week?
I loved Arrow. Come on.
My gosh. I loved when everything went wrong.
Yes.
My favorite parts are where it's like, oh shit. And like, this happened a few seasons, or last season in The Flash, where like everyone died. That was my favorite part this season, where all of a sudden he's like, run, Barry, and oh my god, when anyone says run, Barry, I get like...
it's a big deal.
Yes, it is. And so when he goes, run, Barry, and then suddenly he's just gone, there goes the arrow, boom, out of here, I was like, holy shit. And then everyone else dies in the whole show. I was just like, oh my god, here we go, and I hate how they immediately fix it.
Well, but I mean, like, that was the point. But you have to remember, these things stick with Barry. Like, he has lost Cisco. He has lost everybody. Like, he has to live with knowing that if he screws up, what happens if one time he tries to run and go back to the past and it doesn't work?
No, I'm just saying that's where I would have ended the show.
Yeah.
Boom, everyone dead.
Yeah.
Like, that's what going to get everyone talking. I don't know. That's just me. I was just like, I got out of my seat. I was so excited. Yeah.
Well, I think because that was kind of where they left off the first time the Flash time traveled.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's kind of a given now. When everyone dies, suddenly, he's going to go back in time. And they were hinting at that a lot beforehand. Yeah. We probably should save Night Before and Just Cause until next week because we're running out of time. What did you think of Doctor Who?
I like how they ended the season. Like, it worked in a way. I was a little disappointed because it didn't stick, but the way that they wrapped it up, they were like, yeah, so she, that was how she died, was by trying to be too much like the Doctor, but then they saved her, kinda. So what happens now? Well, she steals her own TARDIS and grabs a companion and takes off. I was like, okay, so she really is the Doctor. All right, fine.
Yeah.
That'll work. But yeah, like, we got to see Capaldi really own the whole idea of the spoon, and that was great. I love that. That's one of my favorite little moments of, like, the Doctor is most dangerous either when he's disarmed, angry, or holding a spoon. That's when you know something's about to go down.
That's funny. Oh yeah. So I think that's it. We should do some cleaning up, huh?
House cleaning.
House cleaning. Okay, so again, we're here every week at 9 p.m. on Wednesdays on the N.FM. You can listen to our podcast after that, then the following day. Go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast. There's two of them, one you can comment on. Our Twitter is at We Geek Podcast. Mine is at Adam Estep. Yours is?
At the Logan Witt.
And wegeekpodcast@gmail.com is our email if you want to shoot us an email. And yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll have a bunch to talk about. We won't be doing Star Wars just yet. But we'll talk about Arrow mid-season finale. And I think that about wraps it up. So if I'm missing anything, Captain.